account as well, so we don't need to change that. Okay, so you've received your summons then?
Yeah, I got a summons, yeah. I'm well excited about it, you know what I mean? Because, I mean... Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Because you just hire the courtroom, don't you?
The courtroom is there for the council tax counts that have gone through the recovery process. Yeah. A hearing is there, and the council can then obtain what we call the liability order document.
Exactly.
To allow for recovery.
So, but what I'm trying to do, yeah, is like what I'm trying to find out, yeah, is if I can hire the room out as well. Can I do that?
Well, that's something you would have to speak with the courts about.
Oh, do I? So, are you the council, are you?
Great Yarmouth Borough Council and Customer Services.
Oh, right, because like it says summons for non-payment of council tax. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Will you have proof for liability? Obviously, there's got to be someone, there's got to be a living person who's like, standing in court, isn't there?
Do you mean yourself or a member from yes, somebody from the council tax team will be there?
Yeah, because obviously I don't want to, get into controversy or like commit fraud or anything. Do you know what I mean? Or are you going to be coercing me into committing fraud?
So do you live at the property? Have you been living at the property? And you're liable to the council tax?
Again, see, you've sent me this thing through, right, from your government, which I don't get, yeah. Again, you've sent me, look, Great Yarmouth Borough Council, yeah. It says empty property notification card, right? You've sent me this, all right? All right, and it says, according to our records, we don't think anyone lives at this property. If this property is used as a holiday home or a second home, or as the occupier is temporarily away, you don't need to do anything. If the property is being lived in as a main residence, please see overleaf to find out how to register.
Okay, so what is the situation with the property? Do you live in it, or has it been empty, or is it a second home?
Well, no, I live in it, don't I? Yeah, I live there. So why are you sending me this leaflet and try to tax me and all this if you don't even know where I live or what I'm doing anyway?
Well, I imagine that's the reason for the letter, so we can bill you accordingly. I think they were trying to establish whether or not you were living there or whether it was empty. So did you reply to the letter? No,
I don't reply to you. No. Because, like I said, you're all treasonous where you are, and it's all run by Freemasons, isn't it? Are you an Eastern Star lady, kind lady?
I've not heard of that. No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, right. Okay. Does the general attorney, right, does he have full responsibility, or is he issues and like the responsibility of the legal name? Do you know what I mean? Am I got to have confrontation like that in the court or not?
No, not at all. No, what they would do, if you wanted to attend the court...
the legal fiction name I'm on about.
Sorry, say that again?
The legal fiction name, because obviously, we're all like contracted under you, to obey your free, like your Masonic laws. Do you know what I mean? I'm just wondering, will you be using the fictitious name or my true name? There's a fictitious name, isn't there?
Well, I don't really know what that is.
This is the thing, you see. The legal fiction name is a deceased thing. It has no life, do you see what I mean? And I'm just wondering if you're claiming on the deceased name. Do you know what I mean? Rather than my name.
Not that I'm aware of. No, your account is...
Oh, so you're not... So basically, you're not aware of the laws concerning the surname, then?
Well, the council tax team are billing you with information that has been provided by yourself.
Then that comes down to they're trying to get me through fraud and deception. Do you see what I mean? This is the thing what I'm trying to find out. And then if they are, I want to know if I can hire the court out to obviously bring them up front for fraud and deception against my name. Obviously the jurisdiction of the court will it be a civil law court or an admiralty administration court for legal fiction? eh?
It's the magistrates' court, so it's just.
So it'll be an
magistrates.
administrative court then, I suppose. And anyway, who is the injured party? Can you provide proof of claim of the injuries and the liabilities? I mean, who got injured?
I'm not 100% with you there.
Well, there's got to be an injured party. You can't take someone to court over nothing, can you? There's got to be an injured party, hasn't there?
Right, so the reason it's being taken to court is for non-payment of council tax.
Yeah, but who got hurt? Who was damaged?
It's just a default in non-payment of council tax. That's the reason for the hearing.
So basically, you're trying to coerce me into perjury, ain't you, and all that malarkey. I ain't having that. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's try this then. The paperwork you're relying on in the court, yeah, has it any debased Latin or dog Latin or American Sign Language, like in capitals? Do you know what I mean? Because that's what we're going to get into. You see.
No, it's just a liability order document. You can actually see a copy of the liability order questionnaire that we will be asking. If you attend the court, we ask you to complete a liability order questionnaire, giving it information of your income and your outgoings, and there is a copy of that available on our website for you to have a look at.
Yeah, it's just that fictitious names, like my name, fictitious, yeah, but made by the Masonic government, yeah. Like you got your Christian name, you got your genitalis name, and you got your cognomen name, yeah. They're all names they are, and then you got fictitious names, yeah, which are invented to give courts jurisdiction over me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can look at the I can't remember what it is now. I think it's Snyder and Newell, the Oxford Dictionary. Do you know what I mean about the fictitious names? This is the thing. I'm trying to find out who's the injured party that I'm supposed to pay, because no one's been injured. I haven't hurt anyone. So how can you take me to a court? Do you know what I mean? That you're hiring out. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not really 100% with you. All I know is that the reason that you've been...
Well, my first name is carried and my second name is my mark, isn't it? A mark of the beast. Do you know what I mean? Where were you born? Where did you start bearing a distinctive wordly mark? And it goes on like that. Do you know what I mean? What they're trying to do is coerce me into becoming a treasonous person and being their Masonic gang. And I'm not having it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not aware of anything regarding that.
Oh. See, the Freemasons that run your town hall, you see, right? They're the Judas goats, and what they try to do is lead us into court, yeah, and then we get into their jurisdictions, and then they can do whatever they want with us. They just keep us living poor, don't they? That's what they keep doing. I mean, the total due now is £469. You will not get that out of me because I haven't got that money. Do you see what I mean? So how are you going to do that? But basically, you're trying to entrap me by consent, isn't you? You're saying to me, I consent, yeah, that I owe you £469. You know, some person, whoever that is, like this injured party. But there is no injured party, is there?
No, what would happen is with after the court hearing, we would then offer you the opportunity to pay this off in instalments, because like you just told me, you wouldn't be able to pay it in full. So that's where you then get the opportunity to pay via a special arrangement payment plan. And so you can offer instalments.
And a payment. But again, you're trying to get me to consent that I owe you £469. Who's the injured party? Do you see what I mean? Who's the Freemason that I owe the money to? Because that's their laws. Yeah, the Borough Council is the Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? You go check who runs the Masonic Lodge, because that's what you're in. You're in a Masonic Lodge, you see. That's what the town hall is. That's a Masonic Lodge. And the head people that run that town hall are all Freemasons. You see?
Okay.
It's all about liability, jurisdictions, yeah, and like dog Latin and that, and fraudulent paperwork, you know, because they keep sending me fraudulent paperwork. Do you know what I mean? And I don't understand it. So I just want to know if I can hire a court out to take you people back in, you know, into my court for, you know, for treason. Do you know what I mean? Because you're treasonous people working behind just like their aprons and not coming up front with it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there will be somebody available from council tax at the courthouse on the date of the hearing, and if you wanted to book the courthouse, you would have to then speak with them direct. It's not something that I would be able to help you with.
All right, okay. So, for instance, like, will there be correct sentence structures of the communication, say pass or passage, you know what I mean? For like on the record, so that I don't perjure myself, do you know what I mean? I basically want to know the correct grammar so you can comprehend what's being said to me and to you. Do you see what I mean? Pass, you ever heard of it?
Yeah. Well, my colleagues would speak in the same tone that I am, sort of plain English.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. I mean, like, at the end of the day, like I said, you're a bit profane, you see, because you didn't know who you're working for, but you're actually working for Freemasons. Is there a Freemason in the office now? Could you find out? An Eastern Star would be a better one.
Not anybody who's working directly in my office here, no.
No. Oh. Who's your boss? He's a Freemason, I bet. Or is she a boss?
The head of the council?
Yeah.
You mean the chief executive? That's a lady called Sheila Oxtoby.
Sheila Oxfordy?
Oxtoby.
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 Oxtoby or not Oxtoby? That is the question. Is she an Eastern Star? That's what I'd like to know and find out. I think I'll just do a bit of research on her. But yeah, that's lovely. All right, thank you for your help. But like I say, I'll see you in, we'll see you in the fraudulent court on the 4th, I believe. Do you know what I mean? And tell any of them in there, they're all working for treasonous people called Freemasons, yeah?
Okay.
And can you write this down, please, kind lady? Write this down. This is my forum. It's www. Nazon, Nazon, Zazon, Zazon.
Okay.
Boni, BONI.com, yeah? Now, if you go to the UK section there, the Freemasonry UK section, you'll see how Freemasons have actually, corrupted Great Britain, yeah? Because it's not so great now, because Freemasonry is actually, there's a lodge in every town, multiple lodges, multiple chapters, and they're running all our town halls, they're running our police stations, they're running social services. Actually, take a look at the social services. That'll show you the Norfolk section of the corruption there. I mean, if you've got 30 odd people sacked out of social services, right, which work is a part of your department, isn't it? Yeah, right. Then there's got to be something corrupt going on within social services, you think, wouldn't you? And I'm not just talking about Norfolk. I'm talking Suffolk and all the rest of the counties that I've done the research on, which you can find on my forum. What I've just given you. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. All right then. Yeah,
all right,
I'll make a note of that.
Wicked, I love you, baby. I'm so excited. I'll tell you, I can't wait to see. Oh, are you going to be there on the 4th?
No, it won't be me. No, it'll be the council tax team.
Oh, well, can I have their names, please?
Well, I don't know exactly who from the team will be there, but there will be members from the team.
All right, okay. Also, what on your forms, right, what you keep sending out, right, and this is a hard question, you always ask what my religion is, right? You always ask what my nationality is. You always ask my sex or my gender, right? But do you know the one thing that ain't on the form?
No.
Ask if I'm a Freemason or not and what chapter or lodge I'm in. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Why is there no mention of Freemasonry on your forms?
I don't know.
I think that's quite important because, like, they want to know, like, if there's Muslims, Christians, and all the rest of it, but you never know if there's a Freemason. Why is that? Why ain't there none of that? No, why is that never on a government form asking if people are a Freemason or not?
No, I've never seen that either.
Exactly. That's a bit of a thing, isn't it? Do you know why you don't see that?
No.
Because they run the government, you see. Because when you've got Tories and Conservatives, they've all been infiltrated by Freemasons, you see. So they don't put ideas forward like, shall we do a survey to see how corrupt Britain is? Do you know what I mean? Because Freemasons won't investigate themselves, do you see what I mean? Or do any surveys on themselves. Do you see what I mean? That's why you'll never see Freemasons on a government form. Are you a Freemason? What is your religion? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
Like, there'd be a survey to say, like, in areas how much crime there is, but they don't say how many Freemasons were actually involved in crime, how many Freemasons got put away and remanded, in court. Do you see what I mean? Because they hide it all up, all their crime and all their stuff. They hide behind their aprons, you see. That's why we don't know nothing about them. Do you see what I mean?
Oh,
But anyway, kind lady, I'll let you go. You know, I can brag about Freemasons all day long. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, use my website, pass it around the office, and get people to have a little study and see what Freemasonry and who you're actually working for. Yeah, within your government. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yep, I'll let people know.
All right. And will the magistrate court be a shopkeeper or an actual real stipe? You know, like a Freemason magistrate. What will it be? Do you know?
Oh, I really don't know the answer to that one either. I don't know who will be the.
All right. All right. Thank you for your help anyway, kind lady. You are the best. I'm so excited I could crush your grape. See you on the court, baby.
Okay, bye.
All right, my love. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Do you see what I mean? Even she said it was strange about there's never ever a Freemason on a court, you know, like on a form. Do you know what I mean? What is your religion? What is your this? You know, Freemason is so thingy. Why isn't it on there? You know, we've got Muslims, Christians, Protestants, and all the other. And you even get, you know, do you know what I mean? I suppose the other, where they put that other, is for them to put in, oh, we're Freemasons, but they ain't going to do that, are they? Do you know what I mean? It just makes me laugh, you know. But it's going to be a good day, you know what I mean, in court. We'll be there the 4th. Anyone want to attend, just come, you know. I think that's the 4th. I can't even remember the proper date. When is it? Let's have a look. Yeah, the 4th for the 4th. Yeah, it's about 4 days away or 5 days away, I think. You know what I mean? I only know it's the 30th today because of certain things, but never mind, my loves. But yeah, come out, mate. That'll be... Where is it? Let me see if I can do this. Right, wait a minute. I just got... Oh, look. Where is it? Summons to appear on the 4th of the 4th, yeah? So if you want to be there, you know what I mean? You'll come and meet the main man, you know what I mean? You watch, we'll see if we can spot a Freemason and give some signs out. Well, I will be anyway. You know what I mean? We'll have our cameras out and we'll just see how we get on with this. Do you know what I mean? But if you want to turn up for the grin, come along, have a great day. We'll see how many people are Freemasons within the courtroom and the court system. Do you know what I mean? And we'll see if we can actually hire a court out. Yeah, or go about hiring a court out so we can then start summoning some of these Freemasons to answer to our courts, which are profane courts, what are legal, they will be binding and they will be straight. Do you know what I mean? But you don't realise, yeah, when you start getting the power away from these people, they're going to rise up and they're going to shoot you guys. Do you know what I mean? There's no two questions about it. People in power don't relinquish power. They ain't going to walk out of their council chambers. They ain't going to do nothing. Do you know what I mean? They're going to fight you all the way, and they're going to the first line of their defence will be crime lords, yeah, that'll come and beat you up in the fucking lines and start a riot outside, yeah, because then the riot enforces or gives the police, their Masonic brothers, the power to come in and start arresting you, the profane. Do you see what I mean? And that's all it is. That's all what they do all the time. You know what I mean? And we've got to stop allowing them to make us fight between ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Because that's all they get us to do, fight between ourselves. You know what I mean? And obviously there's people there that have benefits of being a Freemason that will fight you anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because they want them people in places of power. Because if you run, like I said, I've just done the social services. If you run the social services, you can displace children. You can get children for your Masonic brothers. Do you know what I mean? To what do you call it? You know, to have a family, do you know what I mean? But you can take that off a profane person. But you try, again, this is where I get into, we need surveys, right? There's me, look, if you want to add on, you know, I'm perjured individual from Freemasonry, exposing perverts who follow me. The Masonic Cliff Hotel is my job, eavesdropping and cowing, the best in the world I am. Working in a profane lodge that is growing daily. I'm a professional gorgamon. But anyway, there's more about that. You'll have to read that yourselves. But this is one of the top posts that I've done, yeah. So always read the pin post, yeah. And if you ain't sure about Masonic corruption, get into it, baby. And here we go. As I keep telling you, the profane only fight the profane in their wars, yeah. Do you know what I mean? This guy's got a little Dom Wiz. I think he's from Ireland. You know, again, look, to fight a war because kings and politicians say so. And the kings and the politicians that I've shown you already are just Freemasons, lords, dukes and earls. Do you know what I mean? And all they keep doing is getting us to fight for them. And they get all the wealth, all the land, all the gold. Do you know what I mean? They've done it for decades and centuries. Do you know what I mean? It's just waking up to it. Again, look, here's all these profane people, look. and then you've got a profane person in the car trying to get to work, and the profane is stopping the profane. Again, the profane are doing the work for Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is, all the time. Again, social services, look. You know what I mean? If they want your kids, they're going to go through social services to get your child and adopt that. Do you know what I mean? Again, there's no surveys to see how many Freemasons are like in the adoption service. You know, how many children have been adopted by Freemasons? Do you see what I mean? There's no survey like that. Do you see what I mean? No surveys, and there should be, because that would give you some bloody big numbers with big question marks on it. Do you know what I mean? And including wars, how many people that served in these wars that were Freemasons? Because again, they just give the story that they served. Did they? Who knows? Do you know what I mean? Get on that boat and then they get taken to a safe land, yeah, and in the war they come home, they go, oh look, we're all heroes. But did they fight in the war? Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. So don't say you do, because you don't. No one knows. The only thing you know is what comes through that telly and what comes in your fucking paper. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as that. Anyway, and then we've got the Masonic biker gang. Look at that, man. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, you know, I've just done the profane. Ask me, how do you find a lodge? Go to Lodge Finder or Lodge Locator. They even put them into districts. You know, these will all be districts. You know what I mean? So they district your actual town, you know, your country off. Do you know what I mean? It's unreal. Look at them. Look, these lodges, look. Do you know what I mean? Do the maths, man. Do you know what I mean? They're everywhere. And then we've got the Masonic Almanac book. I'll do another one tonight where I left off here. Watch Masonic Crime Lords. That is so important there, because that's what runs your towns and cities. Masonic crime lord. But they look like, oh, I've spun myself round. I'll have to leave that in now. Yep, there we go. You've got my bad hair day there. How bad? Oh my god. There, I'll do it again. Look. But anyway,
13,000 copies.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Freemasons love little boys. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, you got to watch. You know, people go, "Oh, we'll watch the lodge." Don't watch the lodge. It's not the lodge. They do it at the houses. You know, like the other day. You know, there's a house that was locked up. You know, you know, that come from social services actually. A lady that went to a house, and you know, they used to meet up in the loft. Do you know what I mean? And all the doors up to the loft were all locked with chains. Do you know what I mean? So God knows what was going on there. But remember, just because they meet in that house, it isn't saying that's connected to another house on the estate. Do you see what I mean? So you might get them going, you know, different houses, the children, but they're all got tunnels that meet to the one house. Do you see what I mean? And you wouldn't know it from Adam. Do you know what I mean? So you got to watch where people go with their children, you know, and if it's a regular basis, taking children into a certain place, then you can, you know, you can bet your bottom dollar that something is regularly going on in that place, and then you've got to watch that. Do you know what I mean? This is what they want you to do. They want you to look at flat earth. They want you to look at chemtrails. They want you to look at a war somewhere else in the, you know, the world or whatever, yeah, but they don't want you looking in within your own towns, because that's where the corruption is. So you need to be looking within your own towns. That's where your problem is. Do you know what I mean? These people within your towns and cities are looking after the elite anyway, that are up where you can't even get hold of. Do you know what I mean? And if you look at my maps, right, what I show of Australia and all the rest of it, yeah, right, scum of the highest level. This is your Freemasons here, look. That is what they are. Wolves in sheep's clothing, yeah, within your towns, within your cities, yeah. You know what I mean? Here's the 4 square. Look, see the square circles within a square, and that's a church round my way. Do you know what I mean? Put the 2 swords together, and you get your square and compass, which you can see anyway. But that's another story. But imagine now, right? Yeah, I don't know where you are in the world or where, you know, you're watching. Okay, let's just take, for instance, right here. Look, this is Australia now. I've shown you. New Zealand, right, where they're all over you can't even see a landmass on New Zealand. Let's just say they took over New Zealand, right? Yeah, boom, done away with the profane. New Zealand's now basically a Masonic colony, isn't it? Yeah, this is now New Zealand. This is now Australia, right? So this is now being colonised by Freemasonry. Do you see what I mean? This is just the corner of it, obviously, yeah, but this is what they're actually doing. They're colonising the world, right, which they've done very, very successfully all over. But imagine all these lodges, they've got thousands of men in. If they all just did what the Hitler did, back in 19 whatever it was he did and start the war. These people will obliterate you. And people go, oh, we got the numbers. Yeah, you may have the numbers, but they've got all the guns and all the bloody, you know what I mean? So when you go, oh, let's all march on this place here and march on that place there, it takes one Exocet missile and you're all wiped out. Do you see what I mean? And as I can't remember who it was who said that. That's like having a Trojan horse without a Trojan horse, if you get what I mean. Because they go like the Pied Piper, all march on this. You're all gathered, thousands and thousands of you are on the streets in a particular place, and they just bomb it. You're all gone. You're all wiped out, and that's the end of it. Do you see what I mean? You know, and that's, you know, that's just madness. Do you know what I mean? Gathering places like that, because if you go to take that off them, this is what they're going to do, you know, but you've got to know how to spot a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? Can you? This is how Germany did it. You know what I mean? They go, oh, we were persecuted during the war. No, you weren't persecuted during the war. It's just that the Freemasons, which were Germans, replaced you with other Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? So and that is the simple story of it, really. Do you know what I mean? But look at them, they're everywhere. And I've got, you know, there's 7 things now. I think this is the one with the with New Zealand. Oh no, that's the, yeah, look at all these, look, skeletons. Look at that, look. You know what I mean? That's the botanising a profane person, look, right into the square and compass, look. You know what I mean? That's your Masonic doctors for you. You know, crazy stuff, isn't it? Crazy. Now here it is, look, this is what I'm on about. So so there's New Zealand, right? Now, if they decided to rise up, they've already won New Zealand, right? They've half populated everywhere else, including Great Britain, you know, the UK, America. Do you know what I mean? They've already populated half the known nations around the world. Do you know what I mean? The only reason they're doing Iraq and all that is because they haven't got, well, they have got lodges there now. Do you know what I mean? They've been in everyone's life. Do you know what I mean? They work in, you know, they own your town halls, your city halls, the police, everything. So what do you think they do now, this inter-conquering people? Do you know what I mean? Maybe they are aliens. Maybe they are this, that and the other. And if they are, they're doing a fucking good job of taking over every town and city slowly and populating it with their own people, don't you think? Do you know what I mean? Like there's 6 or 7 lodges in Great Yarmouth alone. Do you know what I mean? 7 or 8 lodges alone in Great Yarmouth. You know what I mean? And Great Yarmouth is like, say, even if I said it was like 10 miles by 10 miles, that's a lot of lodges. Do you know what I mean? For a simple little town like this. Do you know what I mean? You know, and don't forget, each lodge, yeah, you can say, oh, there's a lodge. Oh, they've only got 1 lodge in Great Yarmouth, do you know what I mean? But they've got 2 lodges, right? Well, 8 lodges, but it's the chapters within, yeah? Remember, the chapters within can be up to 15, 20 chapters. You know what I mean? And then so that 1 lodge now has 20 chapters within it with 50 men in it. Now look at the numbers. Do you see what I mean? And they'll swamp you. The first gangs that rise, and the only reason there'll be a war or a civil war or anything else is because of Freemasonry make it so. The profane don't go to war. Freemasons go to war. They make your wars. They make anything. They'll be the first gangs to rise up and go against you, the profane, because they're brothers and sisters. Do you know what I mean? They're empathising with each other all the time. They're meeting in their lodges. They're getting on. They're having meals. Hello. They're toasting each other and doing all them little rituals, all to empathise with themselves all the time. What are you doing as with your families to empathise? No, they're splitting you up and dividing you all the time. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't speak to your kids no more, or the kids don't speak to each other, blah, blah, blah. Or they put drugs, you know, like, you know, they got your kids addicted to drugs. Do you know what I mean? So that your kids, you know, you split, they don't do, you know, they're not even thinking about family. You know what I mean? They're just thinking about their next fix and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Oh, there's so much these people do, mate. You get, you know, to know them, you've got to really get into them and think Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I do. You know, this is why I've been doing this 30 odd years, I think. You know, there's a lot of videos I got that I don't put out. Do you know what I mean? Like I interview a lot of people on drugs, you know, just talking in general to them, you know. I don't have to say anything or do anything. I'll do an interview. I've got an interview coming up with a girl, right? 2 girls I've got interview. Both lost their children to social services. One lost 5 kids, I believe, or 6. The other one lost 5, yeah. But their kids have all been moved away. Do you know what I mean? So they can't get any transport to them. They can't get any calls to the children because of like restrictions. So they can't even speak to their own children. Do you know what I mean? And that's how bad it is. Do you know what I mean? That's just social services. But again, that's all another story. Do you know what I mean? But just go out and speak to people. Do you know what I mean? Talk to them. Say, do you know anything about Freemasonry? What, you know, if you see a girl, say, you know, like, you don't just say, have you lost your children? They go, yeah, they have, you know. I'm not saying like some people don't deserve to lose their children, because they do, but there's many that don't. They don't deserve to lose their children. Do you know what I mean? And that's the fucking fact of it. And they're being stolen and taken for the benefit of Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? Because they go, you know, you got a couple of people, yeah, a lot of Freemason and an Eastern Star, you know what I mean, they're married, yeah, but they can't have children, for instance. They're going to go through the lodge, and then they're going to look for someone, and then they're going to, boom, we want that child, and they're going to take that child away from you because it's a Freemason brother that wants it. Do you know what I mean? And that's as simple as fucking that. A fact. Do you know what I mean? These people, right, yeah, if you knew how much they've been ingrated into my life and tried to ruin it, you wouldn't believe it. But that story's coming another day. Do you know what I mean? Especially on my death, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's, you know, I've sat there, right, and listened. I'm telling you, I've had, you know, some of you know who you are. You know, obviously you follow me. I've had to talk to people, you know, like for 4 hours that wanted to just go into, like, say, a pub, you know, a Masonic pub, and just do an annihilation on these people. Do you know what I mean? And I have to spend 4 hours talking them out of it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, fucking hell, mate. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. Speaking to him on the phone, you know, having conversations, trying to get people not to do what they want to do to people. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking madness. You know, I get a lot of people come up to me, you know, the people who are being gang stalked and things like that, you know, and I have to speak to, you know, and I talk them out of it. Do you know what I mean? You know, last month, one guy wanted to go to like a lodge and put petrol on himself and set himself alight. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of conversations I have with people sometimes, you know. And I'm like, fucking hell. You know, again, I could, you know, again, and it's in, you know, I'm not I've got no reason to bullshit. Again, like last night, I can't say too much, but someone last night, you know, said to me, you know, they go, you know, can they time it right, yeah, where, you know, they could do some damage to some people, do you know what I mean? But not have to do the like to get arrested and do the prison time. You know what I mean? He'd rather do something while he can, rather than grow old and then he can't do nothing about it. Do you see what I mean? You know, and that's the sort of conversations I have with people, you know, that are sick of these other, you know, these people that have been gang stalking them or done something to their daughter, you know, or something like that. You know what I mean? And they want them to do things. Do you know what I mean? And I'm talking them out of it. You know, it's just madness. You know, it's just like, wow. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but you know, that is, you know, that is. You know, that's the bottom line of it. Do you know what I mean? They you know, they you know, they want to do something, you know, which is not very good, you know, and I talk about, you know, and, you know, some people, you know, want to commit suicide, you know, and do something worthwhile before they commit suicide. I'm like, fuck, you know, these are some of the conversations I have with people, you know, and I have to talk them out of it and talk them round and bring them down. Do you know what I mean? Say, no, it's not worth it. Boom, boom, boom. But I can't control what they do. I'm not responsible for what they do. Do you know what I mean? But that's how things have got, you know, and I'm like, people don't want to live in this world no more and things like that, you know. It's like, oh, you know, it's crazy, you know, you know, and but the Freemasons don't realise any of this. Do you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, we're happy, and they sit in their pubs and they drink and they sit, you know, and all that bollocks and, you know, blah, 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 blah. But you don't realise you've killed people's children. You've got people's children on the streets and fucking whatever else. Do you know what I mean? And you're responsible for that because you allow your society to do that to profane people. Do you know what I mean? And that's fucking wrong. But anyway, my profane friends, yeah, I got this in, you know what I mean? I don't know what to say now, do you know what I mean? I always get a bit deep, doesn't it, when you get into stuff like that. But I do have conversations like that with people, you know, and some of you who obviously follow me and watch me will know, you know, that I'm obviously talking about you, but obviously I'm not going to mention your name or say anything, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's madness, do you know what I mean? And people don't realise it. It's just fucking chaotic chaos all the time. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, look at this. Are you ready? Watch 1, 2, 3. I've still got my Christmas tree up. Right. Anyway, my profane friends, I'll say Have a great day. I'm now going to go out for a ride, see if I get knocked off my bike by some freak mason. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? These Freemasons, that's what I mean. So you just don't realise the stuff they've done to me, yeah? Or try to make me act, or the way I live now, I shouldn't be living like this, but I live like this because of Freemasonry. Do you know what I mean? Even I have them thoughts, don't get me wrong, you know, and I think, you know, you fucking mugs, do you know what I mean? They sit there, they think they're good, they're great, but I want to go out in a blaze of glory, do you know what I mean? But I don't, because I've got children and things to think of, do you know what I mean? But I think about it all the time, you know, and I do, you know, and I'm not the only one. Like I said, there's a lot of people, but I can't control other people. I can control myself, yeah, and I do, you know. It's like the other day, I was like, again, you know, I was like in a certain place, right, yeah, and this geezer go, yeah, he must have said so, you know, he was all right with me. He used to talk to me perfectly okay, yeah. And then he asked me about, you know, and he mentioned a name. He dropped a name, right? I said a certain thing, right? And then he got me on his camera, right? In a particular scenario, which is what they do. I just went, I knew what he was doing. I just thought, oh, fuck it, let you. Do you know what I mean? So I got in the camera shot, right? Next time he sees me, he's acting weird and funny, right? And I heard him go, oh, he just said smack him in the mouth, right? So again, that's just getting someone else profane to do their dirty work. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, well, I know who's responsible for it anyway, like I said. But again, it's just that these people don't do their own fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? They always hire someone or pay drugs to get someone. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's a smack in the mouth or whatever. But I went over to him, yeah, when I heard that, and he didn't smack me in the mouth. Do you know what I mean? But that's another story. But you know, this is what they do. You know what I mean? They set you up for things like this. You know what I mean? You know, and they pay for it. And they, you know, they don't do anything. They don't need to do anything, because there's always, you know, again, you got to watch my, you know, Masonic crime lords. Yeah. Again, it's just a phone call. Who you can ring, who you can phone. Do you know what I mean? To do your dirty work. Do you know what I mean? Because there's always profane people ready to do the dirty work for their drugs. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's another story. Yeah, watch my crime lords. Please watch my crime lords, because that's going to show you what runs your towns and what runs your city. Believe me. And they're all Freemasons. Have a great day, my profane friend. And never trust your Great Yarmouth Borough Council or any council within any town or city, state, if you're in the USA or whatever, because they are, trust me, they are out to get you.